exciting day for us. We're going to announce a couple of new ways we're going to engage the public. It's very, very important for local government, and we're excited about this. With us today, we have our Mayor, R.Rex Parris, and our Deputy City Manager, Jason, and Joe Cabral Communications, who have been working on this. So with that, I'd like to introduce our Mayor, R.Rex Parris.
The reason this is so important, I think, is best exemplified by today's paper. When I read today's paper about the whole idea of a deputy mayor, I'm reading it and I'm thinking, I agree with them. But wait a minute, this is my idea. How could I agree with an idea that's diametrically opposed? The reason I was able to do that is because the amount of information we're pushing out to the public is like this much of something this big. And we see that repeatedly. And I imagine the frustration of the staff is huge because you work so hard and so long on something, and then they put it in 2 inches of news. And so people really don't get what we're doing. Like on the deputy mayor, the reason that came about was there was a group of pastors that went to Pittsburgh, and they heard there's an anti-gang program there. They wanted me to go. I was scheduled to go, and I couldn't go. It was a 4-day trip. It's not something I can send city staff on. I mean, could you imagine me going to Mark saying, Mark, I want to send somebody to Pittsburgh? He thinks I'm crazy enough as it is. But if I had a deputy mayor, I would be able to do that. There's a lot of stuff happening out in the world that we could bring back to Lancaster if we could get the people out there to be able to summarize it, put it together. What are the regression rates of this program versus, a control group? There's the things that we want to know before we start putting money into something. But it also brings to mind what's happening in the city in general. Up until recently, the city council and the mayor has been ceremonial. And that's pretty much what the newspaper was talking about. What do I need another ceremonial head for? I didn't get in this job to do ceremonies. I understand they're important. I understand I should do them. But this city has gotten really big. There's 160,000 people in this city. In 10 years, there's going to be 250,000, if not more. The projections are just huge. And so that's one of the reasons, that the story doesn't get out in even one page of news. But with this, we're able to tell the whole story. And we're also able to bring in the community to give us responses. And if you have an engaged community, I think you guys are going to like your jobs a whole lot more because people are going to know what you're doing. They're going to have ideas and suggestions, and it's going to be more of a community than I think it is now. This is a huge project. It's a wonderful project on a trail of just wonderful things after wonderful things after wonderful things. You guys are truly magnificent. And, you guys hear that a lot from me, and so I imagine you're thinking that that's just the way I say things. Go ask my office. That is not my personality. If anything, if I have a failing, it's that I don't recognize people's accomplishments enough. But you guys continually just knock me out of my socks. It's incredible. This is another example. Thank you.
And before I introduce Jason to work with the mayor to push the button and launch this, there's a couple things I want to mention. First off, it's a secret of government. Everyone thinks that local government doesn't want input from the public or partnerships. Nothing could be further from the truth. We had the Grand Prix this weekend because of partnerships. Bark in the Park was successful because of partnerships. We've launched Destination Lancaster because of partnerships. Input and buy-in are key to making local government work because we don't have enough staff. A city of 160,000 people, we have a staff of 260 people. That is not enough to do everything. But the community working together is enough. And one of the ways to do that is to let people know what's happening in the community. And if we let people know, we want them to say, don't like this, do like this, here's a better idea. That's what we're looking for. That's why this really is so important. Another secret of government is, and I've had people so many times come up to me and say, gosh, this council must be really hard to deal with. They have all these ideas, all these programs. No. People get in local government because they want to accomplish something. So while we don't get tired of hearing those compliments, Mayor Parris, we also as staff want to compliment you and the council because we need leadership, and we need someone who's willing to stand up there and say, we need to make this better, we need to do this. So it's a great team effort, and we thank you sincerely for that. This is just another initiative that's going to help with that. With that, I'll turn it over to Jason Caudle.
Thank you, Mark. I've been tasked with the duties of explaining not only our social media program and process, but also explain how the functionality of the e-news works. Mayor and Mr. Bozigian commented very well that it is a change in the way people access their information. We read in the news about newspapers going out of business. We read in the news about different media changing. This gives us the opportunity, our citizens, the opportunity to engage in a new type of media, accessing their information differently than they would in a normal case, and making sure that we stay on the forefront of making sure that we are communicating as effectively as we can with the citizens of Lancaster. As we go down the discussion topics, we'll introduce the video of the mayor, noting that there's a whole different types of media we can deliver through this system as well. We'll go to the video of the mayor as an introduction. This is the first one, but it's a series of different videos we can add to these links. So with that, we'll press play. You can get the lights.
Hi, I'm Mayor R. Rex Paris. I'd like to welcome you to Lancaster's first e-newsletter. We call it Lancaster News. It is a cooperative effort that all of us have come together on in the hopes of increasing the community involvement and engagement of all the things happening in Lancaster. We'd like your input of anything you think we can do better or anything you think we should be doing differently in order to make this a better newspaper, because essentially that's what it is. It's the Lancaster newspaper. Also, if you have any news you'd like to share with the rest of the community, be sure to let us know what it is, and we'll try to include it in the newsletter. This is obviously a work in progress that is an innovative idea that the people in the city of Lancaster have thought would make this community a better place for all of us. Thank you.
As you can see, this can change each week as we send out this e-newsletter. That was edited in Rex's office by our own staff so that we can send different messages. It may be an overview of the budget that's going to be happening in the year. It may be a discussion about the things that are happening at LPAC. It could be a list of many different things that we're going to be talking about on video. We also have the ability to link to other websites. If you go down to the Grand Prix or the Grand Prix article, go to say what the racers have to say. It may not be a news article, it may not be a news discussion, but it's a link to another blog. This happens to be the e-karting news. How often are our citizens going to be thinking about going to e-karting news to see what the racers said about Lancaster's Grand Prix? This gives a quick opportunity to make a quick link if you're interested to find out what they're saying about Lancaster. In this, there's racers are talking about how much they loved it, frankly. We also have the ability to link to other news organizations and newsletters or news articles. If you go scroll down, we'll talk about the Spotlight on Downtown Lancaster, or the Spotlight on Destination Lancaster. This is an article from the San Fernando Valley Business Journal that talks about Destination Lancaster. Again, normally local citizens may not be subscribers to the San Fernando Business Journal, but this gives them an access, a link to an article that may be talking about something that's important to their community. We'll also have links available on the green site that just may be informational. It may not have anything to do with Lancaster specifically, but may be informational items that are important to them. If you go to the Sacramento Bee article, it's a reference to what's happening in the state legislature. It's a link to the Sacramento Bee, talks about opportunities for first-time buyer programs and tax credits that are going to be extended. This information may be pertinent to some, may be not pertinent to all, but it gives them the opportunity to select and choose what they want to see as well. It crafts it to be their own liking and to what's important to them. And we also get to highlight local businesses with the bistro. And not only do we link to the article that was written by our staff about the bistro, but also we get to link to their menu, for example. This may not be something that would typically a citizen would get on the internet to look at the menu of the new bistro, but we have the opportunity to a quick link to the menu, community service aspects. Everybody is getting their media differently nowadays, and this is just adding to that system. We also are launching today our wiki page, which is an opportunity for a user-based system to engage with city government. And this is, again, created in-house by our communication staff that allows discussion topics and information to be placed on a wiki page if you go to the discussions. And this is all user-driven at this point. We've thrown up a couple of discussion topics that can be shared with the citizens. Again, as official launch, we hope more people get interested. But these discussion topics can be brought up by citizens. They can be added to by citizens. They can be talked about by citizens. It's feedback on a number of different items that may be going on. So this gives us another opportunity for those who are engaged through the wiki system to talk about, discuss items, get feedback from those members of that system. The unique opportunity, I think, exists as well as if you're watching online the city council meeting, as the video is going on, you can share on the wiki page instantly with the forum on the wiki saying what are they talking about at the council meeting? What are our thoughts on what they're saying? You may not be able to talk during the council meeting, but if you're watching it online, you have the ability to communicate with that network. And it's all user-driven. So in this case, it's information in some cases that we provide to them. Also, it gives the citizens the opportunity to engage themselves with each other. And again, the wiki page is can be talking about anything. What's your favorite restaurant? It doesn't have to be big items. It could be what is your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite thing to do in Lancaster? So we ask everybody to come participate, sign up, subscribe, be a member, join our social media network, so to speak, and engage yourself in the process. We'll switch to our website. And if you go down the bottom left-hand corner of our website is the point where we're asking people to subscribe. It's as simple as typing in your email and signing up, and when the next newsletter comes out, you'll be on that list. So we welcome everybody to subscribe, take part. At this point, we have approximately 6,000 on our email list, and with that, we'll have Mark and Rex come on up, and with the one click of a button, we'll be sending it out to 6,000 residents right now. There it goes. Very cool.
Well, I didn't hear anything.
Your phone will be going off here in a second. Hold on one second.
Two other very quick points. Number one, I really need to thank our communication staff. A lot of folks in the city don't know. They think we have a large communication staff. They're all in this room, all three of them. So Joe, Shannon, Nicole, you guys do an outstanding job of keeping ahead of the curve. Secondly, as Patty and Joanna were shooting me daggers, we have 260 full-time employees. We could not do the work of this city without all of our part-time employees as well, too.